Modding Skyrim with Vortex, Part 10, the Static Mesh Improvement Mod.
Hello and welcome back to my series of videos on how to modify Skyrim with Vortex. Today we're going to do the Static Mesh Improvement Mod, and then we're going to actually start Skyrim and we're going to compare some of the images to see the difference between the vanilla game and the Static Mesh Improvement Mod. I'm looking forward to that.
Today, we are going to install the first mod that will actually alter the appearance of Skyrim. We will be installing the Static Mesh Improvement Mod. We will also install a couple of add-ons to it, and we will talk about the load or deploy order of mods. The Static Mesh Improvement Mod is a working over of the 3D meshes in Skyrim. Meshes, to be brief, are the wireframes that you see in modeling images. These create the surface of an object. The more polygons in the mesh, the smoother the object looks. The Static Mesh Improvement Mod improves the quality of the mesh of various objects in the game, and after this is installed, we ought to see an improvement in the appearance of objects in Skyrim. Before we install the mod, we are going to create a new profile that will be devoted to the mod. We go into Profiles, where we can see our original profile, My First Profile. I want to keep this profile untouched by other mods, so I will create another profile. I click on the small drop-down arrow next to Edit. From the pull-down, I choose Clone. Here I can give it a name, 2SMIM, and I give it its own game saves and settings. In the notes, I'll write Static Mesh Improvement Mod. I click here to save it, and here to enable it. The profile that says Edit is the one that is currently being used. I can look in my mods and see that they are all enabled. And I can look in my plugins and see that they are enabled as well. You could create a new profile and enable them manually, but cloning them does it all for you. Now every mod that I add will not be enabled in my first profile, but will be enabled in my second profile. This way, I will always have a basic Skyrim game that I can go back to and look at for reference. Now we can minimize Vortex and open our web browser and go to Nexus Mods. Log in if you have to and select Skyrim in My Games. Then search for the Static Mesh Improvement Mod. Here is the main mod by Brumbeck. It has about 4 million downloads. We can read about it. A massive project to greatly improve the appearance of countless static 3D models in Skyrim. And we can see that it has no requirements. There are 2 files to download, a main file and an optional file. This time I am going to download the optional file as I have that Creation Club content. I'll click on the Mod Manager download and do the slow download. We are taken to Vortex and can watch the download progress. This mod is large, and it is going to take a while to download. It took me about 5 or 6 minutes, so you have time to take a quick break while this is happening. You can see it downloading in the bottom left, and then installing in the top right. We are given a choice as to what version of the mod we want, and of course I will choose the Special Edition with everything. It deploys the mod, and I can see it in the mod list. The Static Mesh Improvement Mod. It is in the Model and Texture category. There is a plugin for it. You can scroll down and see it. You can go back to profiles and see that in my first profile, I have 7 mods, while in my new profile, I have 8. Now I will return to Nexus and download the Farming Creation Club patch. I do the slow download and wait until it is installed and deployed. Now I can see 9 mods. Back in Nexus, when I searched for the Static Mesh Improvement mod, I could see here that there was a quality add-on. If you don't see this, refine your search by adding quality add-on in the search bar, or use the author's name, Fushar. The mod tells me that it improves many files of the Great SMIM mod, providing visual upgrades, and it has for a requirement the original mod. You can scroll down and read more about it. And then we download it as usual. After the add-on has finished downloading, we receive a yellow warning message. There are unresolved conflicts. That's not a problem. It gives us the opportunity to discuss load or deploy order. If you recall, back when we started setting up Vortex, we got a red LOOT error message. LOOT stands for Load Order Optimization Tool. This is the tool that Vortex uses to decide what order to load the mods in. This yellow message says that it doesn't know what order to load the main mod and the add-on mod in. Click on More, and we can read that there are unresolved conflicts. It is saying that the main mod and the add-on mod contain some duplicate files and wants to know which one to use. We click on Show, and we come to a new screen in Vortex. The way this works is like this. We can see that there are 48 files with the same name, if not different content, in the 2 mods, and Vortex want to know which ones it should use. Now, mods are loaded in an order. The last mod that is loaded overwrites the previously loaded mod. If we have an original mod and then add another modifying mod that improves it, we want to overwrite the original mod with the newer one. We need to load the new mod after the original, as I do here. It isn't necessary to install them in order. The deploy order takes care of that. You can see that Vortex is suggesting after. Vortex will usually make a suggestion. When we choose that, it automatically sets the newer one to after. Sometimes it is hard to tell if Vortex is right or not, and you might need to change the order and start Skyrim and see what kind of results you get. But for now, Vortex is right. This brings up a topic that I haven't discussed yet, and that is deploy order. Click on Mods. Click on the small gear icon over on the right. We are shown a list of columns of data that we add to the page. We want to add deploy order. Click in the box, and now we have a deploy order column. It can sort our mods numerically, according to the deployment order decided upon by LOOT. As I mentioned above, mods deployed or loaded after other mods that use the same files overwrite those files. Deploy order and load order mean pretty much the same thing, although they are a little different. It isn't important to a beginner. Up here we have a button that reads Deploy Mods. Normally we do not need this, but if we have been enabling and disabling mods for testing, it is a good idea to press it before running the game. It won't hurt to press it. When I'm experimenting, I do that a lot. Looking back at the deploy order column, we can sort it and see that the Static Mesh add-on mod is loaded after the Static Mesh main mod. This is what we want. We can see the farming mod loaded before the other 2 mods. Vortex didn't need our help to decide that. Let's return to Nexus and get the Static Mesh Improvement mod by Novelist. Once again, you may have to improve your search in order for it to show up. This is another recommended add-on to the original Static Mesh mod. You can read about it. We download and install it in the usual way. When it is done downloading, it shows us some options. These are trivial, and you can choose whatever you want. I just leave it as it is. Then it shows us mods that can be patched. You have to have these mods installed in order to patch them. The only one that I have is the Static Mesh Quality add-on, which we just did. I'll check that box. Once again, we have a yellow warning message telling us that there is a deployment order conflict. I click on More and see that again, the conflict is about the deploy order of the static mesh mods. When I click on Show, I can see the same screen as before, only now it is getting confusing. We have 3 mods to sort out. Vortex already has part of the screen filled in. When I look in the pull-down, I can see that Vortex has made suggestions, and I will just do as it recommends. None of this is critical to the game. When we start Skyrim, I will point out some of the most obvious improvements, but a lot of them are barely noticeable unless you are really looking for them. That's all we need to do for the static mesh. Why don't we go to the dashboard and start the game and see what has changed. When I click on the SKSE tool button, I am taken straight to the Skyrim homepage. Since I have a new profile with its own saved games, I cannot see the saved games from my first profile. I click on New Game and am taken straight to the Race Menu Mod character generation screen. You can see how much more control the Race Menu Mod gives you over the appearance of your character. I don't have a lot of interest in this. After all, who sees your character? Not even you most of the time if you play first-person view. Still, one nice feature is here where you can see the different races' abilities. You can explore the various menus all you like, but for now I am going to name my character and move on. The screen changes to a small prison cell. This is the alternate start, Live Another Life mod. You can't exit the room. We use the Statue of Mara to select where we want to start our game. There are many choices. You can find other mods that give you even more choices, but this is a nice starter mod.
Approach, my child, and choose where your new life shall begin.
I will choose starting in the Breeze home in Whiterun, as I think most players know that location.
Which property do you own? Even a modest existence is something to admire.
After sleeping in the bed in the prison cell, we wake up in the upstairs bedroom of the Breeze home. This is what it looks like after installing the static mesh improvement mods. Let's go outside and look at the barrels by the blacksmith. On the left, you can see what the unmodified barrels look like, and on the right, you can see what they look like after the static mesh improvement mod has been applied. That's quite a difference. Let's continue and look at some more changes. And here are the drawbridge chains. That's a big improvement. Let's go look at a fence. You'll see a big change there as well. Let's go to Acadia's Cauldron and look at a couple of things. Here it is without any mods. Here it is with the static mesh mod added. There is hardly any noticeable difference from here. That's because the static mesh mod changes the individual objects in the room, not the room itself. You have to get up close to an object to see the effect. Let's look at the wall, see how the feathers have changed. Here is Acadia herself. As you can see, not a whole lot of difference. The static mesh mod seems to have the most effect when it is focused on one item up close. Let's look at a couple of things up in Dragon's Reach. Here is a pillar. The static mesh mod makes quite a difference. We have seen what the static mesh improvement mod can do. Let's move on.
Well, that was fun, installing our first mod to improve the quality of the visuals in Skyrim. In my next mod, I'm going to move on and do a couple utilities. The first one will be Sky UI, which will improve the appearance of the inventory menus in the game. And the next one will be the MCM Helper, which will give you some opportunities to make changes to the mods that we install. After those two, we'll get back to improving the quality of the game itself.